I'm Lisa, and I'm the mom half of this duo.
And I'm Shada. I'm Lisa's daughter. And welcome to Two Peas in a Plot, our little corner of the internet where we talk all things books.
We read across genres and love everything from underrated gems to longtime favorites.
And just a quick heads up, while we try to avoid spoilers, we do talk about what we liked or didn't, so there might be a few light spoilers along the way just to give you some context.
So if you love stories and want to grow your TBR, hit that subscribe button and join the plot. Today's book is called Murder Between Friends by Liz Lawson. It was published in April of 2025, and it is a YA mystery slash thriller. This was really good. I really enjoyed it. This was one of the authors from I believe, the Agathas that I loved. And now I can't remember who did what, but it doesn't matter because it was super good. I read a lot at once or right after one another, so sometimes my mind has a hard time remembering who did it, which is a good thing. So basically, it's three teens were torn apart by a murder, a brother freed, a mystery that forces them back together. Can they trust each other, or is betrayal the truth? So, quick summary is 2 years after the murder of their beloved English teacher, best friends Grace, Henry, and Allie are fractured. Grace's testimony sent Henry's brother Jake to prison, shattering their friendship. But when Jake is released on a mistrial, it's not really released on a mistrial. It is, but he's already served 2 years. So I don't know how that is on an appeal or whatever, but they found out something on the prosecutor's side. So they declared a mistrial and let him out, but they're going to retrial him. Is that right? Retrial?
I think you can technically declare a mistrial
At any
even
time?
after someone's been sentenced.
Okay, good.
If you find out that something would have caused a mistrial
Yeah, okay. It
later.
just sounds kind of funny. So Grace starts doubting that she witnessed that fateful night. Soon the trio is reluctantly reunited and racing against time to find new evidence before Jake's retrial, while navigating buried secrets and uneven trust. So it was kind of stressful, you know me, and I get a little stressed if I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. But how brave, if this was really true, how brave of her to come forward that she might be wrong and thinking that it was Jake that she saw. But this is, and I think each character has their own chapter, so it goes, back and forth between the three of them. But they have to come together and figure out who did it. And for the life of me, I cannot remember who did it. So I guess that's a good thing because then I can't spoil anything and give it away.
Yeah, there you go.
But this was just as good as the Agatha's. Kind of similar writing, obviously, because there's one author that she was part of the duo that wrote the Agathas, and then she writes her own book. But it was super good, really good. I think I eventually well, you feel for all of them for different reasons. Grace, because she has this guilt that she is maybe accused the wrong person. And Henry, because Jake is his brother and he went to jail and he doesn't have a good relationship with him. And he didn't visit him while he was in jail. And then you have Allie, who's fiercely loyal to Henry and Jake and what is right. So Henry and Allie and their parents have all kind of disassociated themselves from Grace, which is kind of sad. Oh, yeah, no, I remember. Okay, but this is super good. Super good. Great ending. It's one of those you don't know who did it. I don't think so. until the close to the end. And just because it's a YA, don't think it's too young for you. I think it's adorable. There was some angst, but you're gonna have that in a YA, but nothing was annoying to me.
That was
So
gonna be my question
yeah,
because I know because and I'm like that too. I can't stand teen angst. Like a little bit of angst is fine.
yeah,
Makes sense. But if the whole thing is angsty, no.
right.
So
No, it was super good. I'm reading the back to see if there's anything different, but it's just what I said. Basically, they're trying to figure out who killed their favorite teacher because they don't want Jake to go back to jail if he's innocent, or let's prove that Grace was right, is basically what it was. So I would like to read the other author's book on her own, her standalone that wrote the Agathas, because I think I like the Agathas so much that I wanted to read the other author's book. So I'm glad I did. I picked it up and enjoyed it.
I'm impressed too because like you said, that sounds stressful. And you're not usually the kind of person who's like, let me read this really stressful book. So if you enjoyed it, it sounds like
I think because it's a YA, it's not too stressful, but I notice YAs are very detailed and they seem to take longer because they talk a lot about their feelings, and because they're younger, they can't just go out and do a lot of detecting. I mean, they have to take a longer time because they're younger, maybe.
right. Well,
I
and
don't.
they don't have the resources that an
Yeah.
adult would. And yeah, I could see that. And also, yeah, I'm sure our listeners will also be familiar with the fact that so my master's degree is in creative writing, but specifically focusing on young adult fiction. And I do feel like you said, I feel like regardless of the genre, because YA is not, you know this, and I know I'm sure all of our listeners know this too, but YA itself is not a genre, it's a market. And then within that market, you have all the subgenres or the genres, and then the subgenres that the adult market has too. So you have sci-fi and fantasy and mystery and all of that. But I think what sets across the stratum of those genres in YA versus adult is, I think, like you said, there's an emotional core to most YA, regardless of the genre that it's in, because that is such an emotional time. I mean, not you can still
Yeah.
have an emotional time as an adult, but I think that's also kind of what's special about YA is that now again, the angst is a different thing, but just the core emotions and like you as a reader getting really close to the characters. Like I don't think it's rare in YA to kind of hold the reader at arm's length from what the characters are experiencing. You're usually really in there with them. Um so yeah, like you said, it's there are YA elements, but I think to me what separates out YA from adult is that there's a core emotional connection that you build with the characters because that's just the way YA is. That's the way that, it's about growing up and discovering kind of who you I think I feel like there's an element of growing as a person in YA. And like most good fiction, regardless of like even in adult literature, you're going to have some sort of character growth. But in YA, I feel like that's the main thing. The character is going to grow somehow, and you're going to go on that journey with them.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yes. And
But
but I think you explained why I get those feelings, because I'm in the bedroom with them and they're crying and I'm like, oh yeah, I feel so bad for you. Or, something else has happened. The mother leaves and they're alone and they're, They have to have dinner by themselves. And it's just all those feelings. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, it's all that emotion. But yes, they're growing. It's teenage, I wouldn't say drama, but it's those emotional feelings that they have to go through that they're not quite mature enough to handle by
Yeah.
themselves. And not that adults don't cry when they're bedroom by themselves, but you can detach yourself a little better than they can from their friends. They're just so angry and. But I get it. I get why they went through this trauma between the three of them.
Well, and in this case, it sounds like if one of their friends was like has been serving time in jail and maybe totally innocent, I can understand
Yeah.
some anger there. That makes sense.
It was good. It was a good read. I'm glad I picked it up. I was kind of nervous because I got so into her previous book, but yeah, it was a great mystery. I will tell you that. Just like the Agathas, it was really good, really really good. Well, that's all I have for you today. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Thanks for being here and talking books with us.
And if you love stories and want to grow your TBR, hit that subscribe button and join the plot with us. And we'll see you in the next chapter. Bye, y'all.
Bye.